Mody, welcome to the show again, mate. You've had a couple of days to process Sunday night. So where are you sitting right now? What are your thoughts after the loss at home?
Our thoughts is that the series is now a 3-game series and we need to go and perform.
It's as simple as that. You can put both those games behind you that easily, that quickly?
I mean, we have to. This is exactly what a series is. There's definitely things from a basketball standpoint that you want to adjust. There's an ongoing kind of give and take in a series, so there's small things to tinker with, and there's definitely things for us to be better at, but yeah, exactly like that.
I don't know how much of those you're going to reveal, so I'll ask you this. Are your thoughts about the Sydney Kings and how to attack them, are they different today than they were before Game 1 last Friday?
No, not very much. We're happy with a lot of the shots that we got, and sometimes it's just about making or missing.
Casey Frank said your shooting was putrid. I thought, wow, what a word to use. Would you have described it as putrid?
We missed a lot of good shots. This happens sometimes. This is part of the beauty in the series, that the randomness of one game making or missing shots doesn't dictate who the champion is. You now have another chance to go ahead and do better.
How much of the fine-tuning, that in your mind and the adjustments you make game by game are to do with the exact players that they put out on the floor?
There's always a response to what the lineup is, regardless of if it's in-game, in quarter, or in series. Whoever they have on the floor gives you certain advantages and gives you certain weaknesses, and you always want to adjust or combat and create advantages for yourself.
I asked that question because when they lost Xavier Cooks and also Derek Walton Jr., I mean, specifically, how do you take advantage of that?
And part of it is by applying a lot of defensive pressure, which we did. We forced a solid amount of turnovers. The other side of it is this obviously dictates part of the game plan. There's ways we defend Cooks and Walton that don't exist when other players are on the floor, and that's something we need to do better with.
Mody Maor is with us. After the win on Friday night in Sydney, you weren't dismissive, but you said, hey, that's only one game. Is this how you treat this series? It's almost like every game's a final in itself, and once that's passed, you just move quickly on to the next one?
I think it's the only way to treat a series. There's no 2-game wins, like there's no 5-point baskets. You take it one possession at a time.
All right, then, what do you want to really improve on? Shooting is one thing. What else after Game 2?
And for us, it's always about how we do things. There's a way we go about how we do things, and in some areas we were great. In some areas we need to do a little bit better, but it's always about the effort, the competitiveness, the physicality, etc.
Do you allow yourself to ride the normal emotional highs though? Wow, we've won a game away from home, and then, or do you just, as far as you're concerned, that'll all happen at the end of the series?
I'm a human being, so there's an emotional response to everything. There's an emotional response to winning, and then there's an emotional response to losing. I don't believe in, or maybe some people have the superpower to just completely not have any kind of feeling and just focus on the work. But for me, the process is acknowledging how I feel and then having kind of a routine that lets you get back to focus on the things that matter and the things you can control. We definitely don't want to get too high after a win, and we don't want to get too low after a loss. And managing that, for me, just goes through kind of the routine steps of what the work is. But the feelings definitely arise, both the good and the bad.
You disguise it well, though. I don't know whether that's intentional or not, because the cameras are always going to be on you straight after that final whistle. You know that, and you do disguise it well.
Some of it is when the game ends, then kind of your mind is working and you're already starting to process, and some of it is knowing that in a position of leadership and people are looking at you, so what you put outside has an impact. How much easier is it to be playing away from home, or what advantage is the home court advantage? Because these two teams have played 5 times this year and no one's been able to win on home court. Yeah, I've heard that. I know this. I think it's more nuance and storytelling than anything. I don't think any of these. I don't think we are happy playing away, and I don't think they're happy playing away. They're good basketball teams, and good basketball teams also know how to win on the road.
Do you go into a kind of them against us mentality over there, though? Do you detect a difference in the way your team plays away?
No, it's just them over us mentality everywhere we play, even if it would be on Mars.
The rush and the adrenaline and the atmosphere and that at home, how do you manage to kind of divorce yourself from that, though? Because as you say, you're an emotional person like everyone is, and I kind of think if I was there on the sideline, it'd be really easy to be caught up in all of that.
Kind of the same way I process things after the game. There's a lot going on that I need to pay attention to. My focus needs to be in many other places that are not the fans, the crowds, the energy, etc. Staying on task and being busy with the other things is the only way for me to tune out the noise.
If I'd asked you before the series started, you were 1-1 going into a 3-game series to end this, would you have been happy?
Yep, for sure. We have a lot of respect for the Sydney Kings. I know exactly who we're playing. These are the defending champs. They've been the best team in the league all year. I think we've seen a lot of things that we like in these 2 games, and we have a feeling that if we play our best basketball, we have a real shot, and there's not much more you can ask for in the grand finals.
When you say that, does that mean that if you play your best basketball, if you get your team absolutely humming, do you think that you are a better side than them?
I don't know no, that's not exactly what I mean. But when we do things at our best, then we are very disruptive to the other team. So when we get you out of your game and we can play our best, then we have a real shot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. The margins and the fine tuning. I mean, obviously, you probably won't want to tell us exactly what they are because it's very tactical and everything else. But if you did, would you think that fans would consider them major, or are these just things that only somebody like yourself who's right in there can see?
Good question. That's my answer.
Great answer. That's my answer. That's a great answer. It's
a good question.
It's just, it's living the moment as well. How important is that to you and your players? And what kind of message, Mody, do you give them that, hey, look, we all think we're going to make the finals again. We all think we'll be in this position again. Maybe we don't. So you've got to actually absorb and enjoy this ride. Do you talk to your players like that?
We've spoken about the fact that this opportunity doesn't come around every time or every year. A lot of things need to go right for you to be 2 wins away from winning a title. The other thing that doesn't come around a lot is the quality of the people that we have. You don't always get this group of people that you enjoy being with, love, care for, etc. And doing something together is special. So we definitely want to seize the moment.
All right, 3 games to go then. How does it unfold between now and Friday? Do you take any time off, or do you spend any time not thinking about this?
Well, we had yesterday off for the guys. We didn't practice. A nice physical recovery day, body and mind. And now we go into a regular week with an away game back-to-back. So that will dictate kind of the load of our practices, the schedule, but practicing all the way out into the game and business as usual.
And whatever happens, there's a game 4 at home. Was that part of your mindset before the series? Let's get a game 4 at home and then anything can happen.
No. Game 4 is very far away from when the series started. My mindset was let's win game 1, and then my mindset was let's win game 2, and now my mindset is let's go win game 3. If that leads to game 4, great. Now, obviously, having another one at home will be something that we're looking forward to, but again, it's just the scenery. We need to go and play.
All the very best. We thank you so much for your time. It's a fascinating series from this side of the microphone, and for everyone else, it's very tense. Obviously, it's very tight. 2 very even teams from here. What does your gut feel?
I'm happy you're enjoying it, and my gut feel is that we will come out swinging.